This episode is part of a short series of interviews with young filmmakers who are making their mark on the film industry. Their ages may vary, as well as their roles and the journey that brought them to where they are. They can be an inspiration to all of us, and especially to an even younger generation of aspiring filmmakers coming behind them.
This is the Faith and Family Filmmakers Podcast, helping filmmakers who share a Christian worldview stay in touch, informed, and inspired. Quiet on set. Rolling. Today's host is Geoffrey Whitt.
Welcome to the Faith and Family Filmmakers Podcast. I'm Jeff, and I'm excited to be back with you today with special guest, Haley Knudsen. Haley is a multifaceted performer and media professional with a dynamic career spanning acting, modeling, singing, dancing, and public speaking. A sixth-generation cowgirl and former pageant queen from her hometown in Texas, Haley embodies a rich blend of heritage and artistry. Professionally trained in singing and acting since the age of 5 and dancing since the age of 2, Haley has performed in over 32 live theater productions and honed her craft through multiple acting techniques, earning numerous awards for her standout performances. Her dance expertise includes tap, jazz, ballet, contemporary, and drill. Haley co-founded the Cowboy Entrepreneur Foundation with her father, Scott Knudsen, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting injured cowboys facing medical expenses and assisting families of cowboys who have passed away participating in the sport they love, rodeo. As a field correspondent for an entertainment media company, she covers red carpet events nationwide. Additionally, Haley serves as a brand ambassador for multiple companies and shares her passion for dance with younger generations as a dance instructor. Welcome, Haley.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
It's so good to have you. That is quite a bio.
Well, thank you. It's a lot to read. So I'm impressed you got through that.
Well, we're very happy to be including you in our short series featuring young filmmakers. Boy, you've done a lot already. How old are you, Haley?
I'm 20 years old. I'm about to turn 21 in July.
Okay, 20 years old. I think it's clear that you are somebody with a passion, because somebody who's being pushed into it by their parents or somebody who's kind of interested doesn't do all of that in the amount of time you've been working on it.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. We were talking earlier, and I always say that God told me exactly what I'm going to do from the second I was born. I've just always known what I was going to do. I came out bouncing to George Strait music, and my parents were like, we got to put her in dance class or something with this energy. And I just fell in love. I vividly remember it was my first dance recital, and I was on stage and I was laughing the whole time, and I just kept bowing and bowing, and my dance teacher had to pick me up and take me off the stage, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I'm like, guys, we got to figure out what to do. And I thank my parents so much because they didn't pressure me to getting into the industry. They actually supported me through that, because it takes a lot of time rehearsing and going to the classes and honing that talent. And they would drive me around and wait in the car for rehearsals. So I really appreciate them for supporting me through that.
At age 2, so that means actually training starting at age 2?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think I was 2 years old, about to turn 3, and I fell in love with it. I started competitively dancing from the second I was able to. And I would always be the one that would make the dramatic facial expressions and do all the fun theatrical dances. And we found out about our local theater company in my small town of Texas, and my mom's like, let's just try out for a show there.
Yeah.
And actually, I was so young, I could not be in the show by myself. So my mom had to do it with me, because at the time my dad had terrible stage fright. So he's like, I'm not doing it. And so mom's like, I'll do it with her. So she would drive me from dance to rehearsals at the theater, back and forth. So it was a lot going on. And then I started singing lessons as well. So I've been training since I was young, and I've just fell in love with it. And I always know that it's what I wanted to do for a career path in the future. And I'm like, you got to put in the work to get there, because there's not necessarily agents lurking around Fredericksburg, Texas.
So as an actor, that dance expertise must open up some doors. I mean, any actor, of course, you can accept any role that you fit as far as, age and so on. But then those special roles that require dance, you've got to shoe in for those.
Yes, sir. I would love to be in a movie that I could dance, because it's my two passions mixed together. But that's so true. And being able to be on stage at such a young age performing like that, it really helped me with getting rid of the stage fright jitters, because I learned what it's like to perform, and I learned what good things go on stage versus bad things versus what the judges would say. And it really helped transform me into the person I am today in terms of confidence and the ability to perform.
Yeah. So have you been in any roles that were heavily dance related?
There's a few that are in the books right now, but
Okay.
my dream is to really star in a heavily dance-related film. The
Of
main
course.
film that I get typecast in actually is within the Western industry, because that's another
Right.
thing is there's not a lot of actresses that also have 6th generation of cowboy blood in them. So a lot of the movies that I get cast in have to do with my rodeo expertise per se.
Okay. So let's talk about that. You describe yourself as a sixth generation cowgirl, grew up on a ranch. Tell
Yes,
us about
sir.
that
Yes, sir.
experience and how that ties in with your persona and your character, and how that fits in with your acting.
Well, I'm blessed that I was raised the way that I was. I love living on the ranch. I love being a cowgirl, and my dad was a bull rider. He's broken over 60 bones to prove it.
Oh,
But in a
wow.
way, I always thought that it was hindering me being raised in a small town on a ranch and hindering me from my acting career because I'm like, well, I want to be out in Hollywood, California, and I want to be in movies, but I'm on a ranch, and how is that
Boom.
going to help me? And, my whole family does rodeo and all of that, and so they'd come support me at my dance competitions because 'cause I'm really close to my family, and they're like, "I don't know what's going on here," but I'd look out in the audience, see a row of cowboy hats, just kinda looking a little bit confused. So I'm really blessed that my family was not like, "Well, no, you have to stick with the cowboy mentality. You can't go
Right.
out there and stray from the norm." So I'm really grateful that they supported me through that, but actually now I've learned that growing up on a ranch like I did has helped me in my acting career more than I
Uh-huh.
thought, and it's beautiful to see the 2 worlds blend together because 'cause I'm getting to be in films where I get to be a cowgirl and I get to ride horses. I'm filming a Western in Oklahoma this weekend, and, it's great because it's my 2 loves mixed together, and it's
Yeah.
really helped, and now that my dad is doing the public speaking with me, we get to see even more of that. We speak at
Uh-huh.
rodeos, or we'll speak at an acting event, and it's incredible to see the worlds blending together.
And more, of course, it's less beneficial to be in Hollywood for filmmaking,
Definitely.
which is happening all over the place,
Yes,
especially in
sir.
independent films. Tell me what degree or what ratio you're working in faith-based films, or is it a
Mm.
mix?
It's a good mix. I would say, all of it's clean, wholesome content because we need to see more of
Uh-huh.
that anyways.
Yep.
But I mean, great mix of both faith-based and, just regular good stories. But at the end of the day,
Mhm.
I just want a good story that could leave somebody feeling inspired from the theater. I just want to make people feel
Mhm.
happy and inspired. So that's the majority of the content that I'm in.
Tell us about the Cowboy Entrepreneur Foundation. And of course, there's a family story there, very significant one that no doubt shaped your life a
Yes,
lot.
sir. Definitely.
Tell us what happened.
Well, on my first birthday, actually, July 29th to the
Mhm.
day, my dad was holding me in his arms at the barn and he got struck in the head by lightning and it wrapped around me through his arm and shot out of his hand. So the lightning literally wrapped around me. And it was such a wild experience. My mom was standing beside him and they don't know how he didn't drop me or get knocked out of his boots or anything like that, but it was crazy. So
Yeah.
from there, my dad lost all of his memory. My mom had to teach him how to reread and rewrite and basically turn into his school teacher. So the running joke is that dad and I were raised together and we
Uh-huh.
went to school together and I graduated valedictorian between the two of us. But my mom was a city girl that married a country boy, and so she also got left taking care of the entire ranch by herself.
Wow.
So we had probably 50 horses, 60 horses at the time on the
Mhm.
ranch. We had a head of cattle, every animal you can imagine. So she was out there taking care of them, raising her first and only child, and also raising her husband. So my mom is a very, very
Wow.
strong woman. But what's incredible is she
Mhm.
stuck with them through those hard times, stuck with my dad and helped him out of it. And so now my dad's great. I'm great. We're all great, but it really shaped us. And so, like I said, my dad is a rodeo cowboy, so broken over 60 bones on top of the lightning strike and all the fun things.
Uh-huh.
And I myself have had over 4 knee surgeries and a replacement, being in the Western industry. And the thing about the Western industry is when people get injured, they don't talk about it. They fall off the horse, they get back on, they go on with their day. If they dislocate their shoulder, they'll throw it back in and they'll still finish their ride. And it's just they don't talk about their injuries. So my dad and I were sitting on the couch and we read about an article of a cowboy that passed away doing rodeo and his neck got stepped on by a bronc. He was riding bareback. And
Oh,
my
wow.
dad got injured in the exact same way. He was riding bareback bronc, got stepped on by the neck, but somehow he survived through it. And the cowboy that got stepped on, unfortunately passed away, leaving behind his young daughter and his wife. And that sat with us because my dad is like, I got injured in the exact same way, but I'm still here. And we're like, we
Mhm.
need to do something to make a difference. So we started the Cowboy Entrepreneur Foundation, which helps, it either gives back to the families of rodeo cowboys that pass away, or while they're in the hospital, it helps them pay those medical bills. Cause a lot of the time, cowboys, they survive paycheck to paycheck, ride to ride. And whenever they get in the hospital, they don't tell anybody that they're injured. They gut it up and they get back on the horse to try to make their next paycheck. But we want to give them that time to know it's okay to take time to heal. And we can help you through this. So you're not trying to rush your injury and make it worse. So that's our ultimate goal is, inspire people to talk about their injuries and to support them financially with what they need through that.
Very interesting. So when it comes to working with your parents, first of all, what's that like? And secondly, does that relate primarily to the foundation or the film industry, entertainment industry?
Yes, sir.
How are you all involved together?
I love my parents so much. They are
Uh-huh.
incredible. As you can tell, I talk about them a lot.
That's
But,
awesome.
my dad, he was doing his own thing, just working to pay the bills essentially. And I've been on my acting journey, as you know, since I was 2. And I guess he got invited to speak at Texas A&M College just about horses because he's, with AQHA Horsemen and all that fun stuff. So the Horsemen's Association of A&M invited him to speak about his horse business. And he was terrified. Like I said, he has the worst stage fright. He hates stuff being about him. He's like, I don't want to get up there and talk. That's a little too much. And I'm like, you're just talking about the horse. It's like a rodeo. You're going to be fine. He got up there and started speaking, and the kids started asking, have you ever been injured? Back to that thing. So he's like, well, yeah, let me tell you about that. You're like, well, have you ever failed? And he's like, I failed a lot. And he started sharing his testimony a little bit. And the kids started crying. And the professors in there started crying. And in the moment, as the family, again, we're like, we need to do something with these stories. And so I'm like, Dad, we gotta get the word out. We gotta share your story a little bit. And so I started his YouTube channel and I would
Mhm.
edit his channel and he would start interviewing other cowboys to get their stories out. And so he started doing a podcast and interviewing other cowboys. And it turned into more and more with not just cowboys, but just people in the industry and hat business owners. And it just grew. And so now he public speaks and shares his testimony, which is something I never would expect him to do. But it's crazy how it worked out. So I'll public speak with him from time to time. I have his little booking manager. I'll call people and say, hey, you want him to speak or this and that. But now we have a great
Yep.
team around us, so I don't have to edit all of it by myself. And I don't have to, do all that fun stuff. And also with them supporting me through my acting stuff. My dad's not necessarily an actor. He could play cowboy, but he's not an actor per se. But I like to have them come with me on film sets because you just never know what you're getting into. And, being young in the industry and I'm still learning the ins and outs, and I like having them
Of
with me for
course.
security. Also, running lines with them is great. So we kind of tag
Awesome.
team to each other's events, but working with them is amazing because we always have a built-in support system. Family is everything. And, mom will book our flights everywhere that we need to go. And it's fun. I mean, I'm really blessed to have them. Built-in best
Really
friends,
cool.
I like to call it.
Hmm. So I know you have a film that you guys are planning based on your family's testimony. Lightning Cowboy? Is that
Lightning
what it's called?
Cowboy. Yes, sir. It is in the works right now, pre-development, but it's going to follow that story about my parents' love story, how they met, and it's so cute. And it's going to follow the lightning strike, recovering from the lightning strike, and the goal is to really inspire people through that because we don't want the
Hmm.
movie to be self-glorification all about us. We just want to inspire people like we were talking about with the Cowboys. We want them to say, he recovered from that. And we're like, if we can get one cowboy out of that hospital bed feeling good about themselves and thinking that there is a tomorrow, that's our goal from the film. So it's really neat
Awesome.
because it covers different demographics. It shows my mom being such a strong, powerful woman. It shows me as the daughter
Uh-huh.
watching my dad go through this. And it also has those cool, gritty rodeo scenes of my dad. And it's going to be an incredible film. So stay tuned for that. You can follow us online and see where we're at with the progress of that. But it's in the works right now.
Awesome. And we'll get some links at the end for people to follow you. So you have said you're going to portray yourself. Obviously, there will be a few actors because you're going to be starting young
Yes, exactly. I'm
in
not
this
playing
story.
one-year-old me. Don't worry. That'd be some weird AI, CGI. We don't want that. Yeah, so I'm gonna play, I guess, older version of myself. They're gonna age me down a little
Uh-huh.
bit, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's gonna be a flashback sequence. So us telling the story
Uh-huh.
in present day, and so I'm
Okay.
acting with
Hmm.
two actors that are not my parents, but they're playing my parents. So it's a weird dynamic. I also don't know how to get into character if it's me. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I gotta do some like self-reflection here or something. It's just something new. But it's definitely gonna be a journey. We're in the casting process for who's gonna play my parents, and there's some pretty cool names being thrown around, and I'm really excited. And I'm excited to see how they'll portray my parents because, like I said, I'm really close with them, so it'll be weird acting with somebody that's not them. But we're going to sneak a
Yeah.
little cameo from mom and dad somewhere in the back for sure.
Are there any projects that you'd like to highlight? Perhaps some of your favorites or something you've really enjoyed working on, something you're proud of?
Oh
Um,
man, it's been a crazy ride.
uh-huh.
Like I said, it's only God that I am in this industry because the way that it happened is just so spontaneous and amazing. And I've had directors call me out of the clear blue and it's like, "Hey, I heard about you from this person and God is telling me that you're perfect for this role." And I'm like, "Well,
Wow.
listen to him, I
Hmm.
guess." So,
Yes. Thank
I'm
you.
yes, that's all we could do, but yeah, it's been really fun. So I'm filming a series in Oklahoma right now. It's called Redemption of the West. We're just now getting started with it all. So that's gonna be great. I just filmed first episode for Divided Up Delivery, a new series coming out. So stay tuned for that because that's gonna be a great
Okay.
show. There's, a few
Hmm.
movies on the books. I don't know if I could talk about them yet, but we're filming. But
Okay.
a lot of the things are either pre-development or filming because they're all monsters.
Okay.
It's hard. I'm filming
Uh-huh.
a movie in Montana too over the summer, so I'm really excited for that.
Okay, cool.
But I really love the films that I get to, be on horseback and portray my
Yeah.
Western heritage. And so there's a few of those coming out. So stay tuned for more. It's gonna be
Very
great.
cool.
Speaking towards my parents
Very
as well, that whole fun thing. But it's great. We're just staying busy.
sounds awesome.
FAF Association hosts its first Filmmakers Boot Camp on July 27th. 9 workshops. That's right, 9. 3 for actors, 3 for screenwriters, and 3 for producers. Registrants are able to access all the recordings of all 9 workshops with instructors Venus Monique, Jared O'Flaherty, Nathan Blair, Trey and Ariel Fernald, and more. Plus, organized networking to connect you with other like-minded filmmakers. Level up with confidence this summer. Save your seat now for FAF Association's Filmmakers Boot Camp. Go to FAFFassociation.com and click on Filmmakers Boot Camp in the menu bar. Link is also in the show notes.
Well, Haley has joined us from a set today as we're recording this interview, taking some time during a break. So I really appreciate you doing that, Haley. And before we finish up, I'd like to ask, first of all, do you have any links that you'd like to share or tell our listeners ways they can contact you? Maybe they got a project for you.
Yes, I would love to hear it. Well, if you want to check out my website, you can go to HaleyKnudsen.com just to learn more about me. But my social media, if you look up Haley Knudsen, you can check out the spelling and the title of this episode because my last name's a doozy. But just look up Haley Knudsen.
It's actually not hard to spell. It's just a little hard to
Saying it,
visualize how you might spell that.
that's
Yeah.
true because I always hear different things of how to pronounce it, and I don't like correcting people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you call me whatever you want as long as it's nice. But, just look up Haley Knudsen. You can look up my dad. He's the Cowboy Entrepreneur is what his, I guess,
Mhm.
stage name is. But his name is Scott Knudsen. Follow him. Our nonprofit is Cowboy Give or the Cowboy Entrepreneur Foundation. So you can get us either way. If you want to learn more, donate to help cowboys, do that. But yeah, I mean, follow me. Let's get in contact. But yeah, I'm really happy that I got to join you today because it's important to get young filmmakers out there, like we were talking about, getting their stories out. It's really great for other young filmmakers to hear,
Yeah.
and it inspires lots of folks. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. And to finish up, tell us what advice you might have for young filmmakers who may be coming behind you.
Well, I mean, I would just say do not give up on your goal. You're going to get a lot of people that are trying to sneak in that negativity, and that's just Satan speaking through them. And all you can do is pray for them. But, there's lots of people that think you can't be an actor. You can't do this. You can't do that. You just have to say that you can. And my dad and I always say, just say yes, and the Lord will figure it out. Say yes to opportunities, pray about it. Social media is a great tool. And that's how I met a lot of my people through networking, going out to film festivals. I'd say if you're trying to get your foot in the door, that's a great way to do it, is just by networking and shaking hands and talking. Or with me, message me on Instagram, message another actor on Instagram, a director, and say, give me some advice. How did you do this? Let's talk. Let's set up a call.
Mhm.
That's the best way to do it. Keeping your ear to the ground and listening to advice. But I mean, I'm here if anybody wants to talk, but keep your eyes on the prize and stay positive. That's our goal. Keep your eyes on the stars and listen to God. Pray a lot.
Well, that sounds like great advice and a great inspiration as well. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Haley.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being on. It was lots of fun.
Thanks for listening to the Faith and Family Filmmakers Podcast. If you've been enjoying this podcast, take a moment to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to support the production of this podcast, you can leave a tip at faffpodcast.com/support. Bringing filmmakers together for faith and family.